Hi everyone, good night. David? Oh, David, you're on mute. Sorry. Yes.
Well, good. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final night of Juventud Ecuatoriana's Foro Educativo. Bienvenidos a la última noche de Foro Educativo. My name is David Monroy. I am Executive Director of Organización Juventud Ecuatoriana. With me tonight is our Director of Outreach and Fundraising, Ms. Sylvia Jaramillo Regalado.
Hi everyone. Hola, buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es Silvia Jaramillo Regalado y soy directora de reclutamiento en Juve. Y también estoy como panelista hoy noche representando a Haku y un otro programa de RTC.
Tonight, we will be talking about the different types of scholarships that are available to you. Our panelists range from different colleges and universities, as well as foundations and nonprofit organizations that help underrepresented communities such as our own. Now, Juventud Ecuatoriana was founded as a not-for-profit organization in 2006 with the mission to empower the Ecuadorian community. Over the years, we have done so with educational workshops such as the one you are about to watch tonight. So before we get into our panelists, we would also like to talk about our own Ecuadorian Scholars Fund, which was founded in 2009. And as of December 2019, we have awarded 55 $1,000 scholarships to 5 Ecuadorian students every year, totaling to $55,000, all thanks to support from our sponsors such as Emblem Health and also the community such as you. And speaking of our own Ecuadorian Scholars Fund, the deadline has actually just passed this past week for the scholarship. However, it's never too late to learn about our scholarship for next year. So we would like to invite one of our past scholars, Carla Jacome, who will talk about her experience and also winning the scholarship last year. Hello, Carla.
Hi, hola, muy buenas. Is it all right if I do like a Spanglish mix? All right. So yeah, I was one of the Juve scholars last year. I learned about Juve through a friend, actually through social media. And previously, I've always found ways to connect with the Ecuadorian community. Having parents that immigrated here, I always had a hard trouble finding people that I could connect with. So when I saw Juve's mission and everything it stood for, I instantly knew that I had to apply, and I went for it. And a few weeks later, I found out that I was one of the winners, and the rest from there has been really just being part of a community that has made me feel welcome since day one. I never expected to win the scholarship, but truly a year ago at the gala, it was really memorable experience, and I felt really happy to make my parents proud and to make my Ecuadorian community proud as well. And winning the scholarship, of course, it helped me to have more of concentration in my semester, not worrying about having to work or any of that, but just focusing fully on getting my education and getting my degree. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity. I can say it in Spanish really quick, like a recap of it. Entonces yo fui una de las ganadoras el año pasado de Juve. Aprendí sobre la organización mediante redes sociales y inmediatamente me enamoré de la misión y de todo el trabajo que ha hecho Juve para chicos ecuatorianos como yo. Entonces apliqué y unas semanas después me enteré que gané la beca y me sentí increíblemente agradecida, y bueno, de ahí estuvimos en la gala y me sentí muy feliz de poder representar a los ecuatorianos que estamos tratando de tener nuestras nuestra educación aquí, y de igual manera de hacerles felices a mis papás. Y ganando la beca me ayudó bastante ese semestre para que me pueda concentrar más en mis estudios y que no tenga que estar trabajando un trabajo extra. Entonces, gracias, Juve. Y sí, les doy el consejo que definitivamente para el próximo año apliquen y que sean parte de esta comunidad. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you very much, Carla. So for more information on our scholarship and how you could apply for our next round, head down to juventudecuatoriana.org para más información sobre nuestras becas para la próxima vez, juventudecuatoriana.org. También síganos en Facebook en Organización Juventud Ecuatoriana. También estamos en Instagram, @Juventud Ecuatoriana. So ahora, for our first speaker, we would actually like to start off with Tejal Parekh from Hudson County Community College, here to talk about the different types of different types of resources that her college offers.
Excellent. Buenas noches. Hola, ¿cómo están? Bendiciones. Thank you so much. Once again to David and Sylvia. Thank you again to Soy Juve. It's always a pleasure. Siempre es una bendición trabajar con ustedes. Otra vez, my name is Ms. Tejal Parekh. I am the EOF counselor for the Educational Opportunity Fund Program here at Hudson County Community College. Otra vez, mi nombre es Tejal, la señorita Tejal. Básicamente soy la consejera de la universidad aquí para el programa de educación, oportunidad y fundación aquí at Hudson County Community College. So with that being said, pretty much what we are is a well-rounded program. And what we provide overall here at Hudson County Community College through our program, no somos una beca, we're not a scholarship, no somos nada sobre básicamente financial aid. We're just a grant-funded program. We're a state grant-funded program. So just to give you a little information, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way you can all understand y pueden entender un poco más de nuestro programa. Awesome. I'm going to share this screen and we can go from here. Awesome. Dame un segundo. Screen 2, share, and here we go. Awesome. Excellent. Great. So, básicamente, nuestro programa es el Education Opportunity Fund Program. We are the Education Opportunity Fund Program. This is our staff, Mr. Lowe, who is our EOF Director, Mr. Knight, who is our EOF Assistant Director, Ms. Tejal, quien soy yo, la señorita Tejal, que soy yo la consejera del programa. I am the EOF counselor. Ms. Rosa Perez, who is our EOF secretary, program secretary. Ms. Guadalupe Urizar, who is our EOF program coordinator. Mr. Neil Witt, and who is our retention specialist. And Ms. Maria Tejeda, who is the EOF intern for our program and also works with the Career Center and Career Counselor. So pretty much our program, and I'm just going to break down what the program is. So the Education Opportunity Fund Program. Constantly people think that we are, siempre las personas piensan que somos una beca o somos un programa de ayuda financiera. No somos. We're not a financial aid program at all. We are the Education Opportunity Fund Program. And our program is definitely a privilege to be a part of. Why? Well, I'll explain a little bit to you. Pretty much our program began in 1968. But the reasons for it is because of different things that were occurring that we are seeing now in this year of 2020 in regards to race, in regards to Black Lives Matter, in regards to different circumstances when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Nuestro programa básicamente se ha hecho por las razones en 1968. Estamos aquí, este programa en el estado de New Jersey, por alrededor de los más de 50 años. Y nuestro programa se ha hecho por las razones raciales sobre defendiendo a las personas, los derechos de las humanas, específicamente las personas que son latinos, que son africanoamericanos, etc. En la ciudad de Newark, New Jersey. Y básicamente con eso, Nuestro programa se ha hecho y básicamente está sirviendo a las personas sobre ingreso bajo. So we serve low income. We serve first generation scholars who have demonstrated commitment, motivation, and potential for success in every county of the state of New Jersey. We're also located in New York. We're also located in Pennsylvania and California. Estamos localizados en este programa de EOF en el estado de New Jersey, Nueva York, también en Pennsylvania y también California. Nuestro programa es para las personas que son bajo ingreso, primera generación, a estudiantes que son primera generación, significando que sus papás no se han estudiado ni aquí en Estados Unidos o en su país, sobre básicamente estudiando y saliendo de graduarse de universidad. También estamos buscando a esos estudiantes que están motivados, que quieren estar en nuestro programa, que están interesados de estudiar y ser parte de EOF, porque estamos aquí para básicamente promover y también apoyar a nuestros estudiantes para que puedan lograr todo en cada parte del estado de New Jersey. Our mission statement is to ensure that we provide scholars, okay, scholars that are highly motivated. Estamos aquí, nuestra misión como EOF es para ayudar y apoyar a nuestros estudiantes para tener una educación a sobrenivel, una educación excelente. Así que ellos están llegando de una casa que no es el ingreso no es tan alto o ellos tienen diferentes circunstancias. Puede ser que son indocumentados. You may be undocumented. You may not have a financially stable background. We're here to support you. Estamos aquí para apoyarte. También para los estudiantes que están haciendo transición, for those who are transitioning, coming into college, puede ser que usted no ha estudiado en años. O nunca ha entrado a una universidad o escuela. Bueno, estamos aquí para apoyarte tras que usted entre a la universidad y usted puede salir de sus clases básicos o dependiendo del idioma y Excel, etcétera. Pero estamos aquí para apoyarte. También nuestro programa está aquí trabajando con diferentes departamentos. We also work with other departments here in Hudson County Community College. As you know, si llegaste anteayer, la señorita Diana, Miss Diana, who is also from the college, spoke a little bit about Hudson County Community College. Nosotros también trabajamos con ella y su departamento también. We do work with her as well and her department as they are located in North Hudson. Our program is a comprehensive, holistic program for those who are low income, first generation, those who are looking for social support, those who are looking for a smooth transition to college. We have a summer program and we also have a yearly program. The yearly program looks like a spring and fall semester. We are here to help enrich those scholars through connections, through our college, through our staff, through our faculty, through programs like Soy Juve, being able to connect not only here in the college, but outside of the college as well. And the resources that we offer to all scholars. We offer tutoring, we offer mentorship, we offer workshops, we offer student leadership, we offer student activities, we offer trips, different excursions, and we're here to pretty much support you as well with the process of financial aid, because it's not an easy process and it can be confusing. Nuestro programa otra vez es para las personas que son primera generación. Puede ser que estás llegando de un ingreso bajo. Damos el apoyo académicamente, personalmente, para ayudarte a hacer la transición a la universidad suavemente, básicamente que no sea tan difícil, porque yo como consejera, Mr. Nate o Mr. Lowe, estamos aquí para apoyarte como consejeros, o nuestro programa también, el staff de nuestro programa. También estamos aquí para conectarte, estamos aquí para darte la conexión con otros programas y también departamentos, haciéndose líderes. Queremos que usted sea líderes tras que entra a nuestro programa y la universidad, porque es importante ser parte de la universidad, de diferentes clubs, de diferentes posiciones, etc. So, estamos aquí para darte eso y tenemos un programa de verano. Si estás entrando de colegio o es la primera vez entrando de trabajar afuera y decidiste ya entrar a la universidad después de unos años, ofrecemos un programa de verano también. Y además de eso, nuestros estudiantes nos ven también durante la primavera y también el otoño, para apoyarlos mientras que están estudiando, especialmente ahorita con esta pandemia. Estamos aquí a la orden para ellos. Los servicios, yes, student support services, scholar support services, yes. Damos el academic advisement. Básicamente, ¿cuál es? Dando el aviso y trabajando con sus académicas. Por ejemplo, estoy aquí en la oficina todavía porque estaba dando un charla a mis estudiantes mandatorio para que ellos están asistiendo y puedan saber más información y qué le esperan para primavera 2021. So I was here tonight, for example, having a mandatory workshop with my scholars and meeting so I can get them prepared for academic advisement, but also for spring 2021. We provide financial aid assistance. We provide course planning. We provide career planning, tutoring, mentorship, transfer assistance. Yes, transfer assistance. Yes. So once they decide and once you graduate from Hudson County Community College with your associate's degree, you are then able to then transfer on to your next school for your 4-year, pretty much for your bachelor's degree. And we're able to provide that to them by having that transfer assistance. That is the greatest thing that we offer. Aside from this, we also have excursions, which are cultural. We've taken our scholars to Washington, D.C. We've been able to bring them to museums, doing different things. At this time, we're not because of this pandemic, but surely we'll be definitely getting back onto that. We also provide online support. Apoyo del internet, apoyo atrás de este screen, de esta pantalla, ¿verdad? Damos ese apoyo también. Además de eso, la ayuda de, básicamente, ayudando a los estudiantes con sus aplicaciones de ayuda financiera, ayudándolos también planificando para sus cursos para el próximo semestre, para sus carreras. Puede ser que entras a la universidad y dices, Mr. Hall, yo estoy pensando en ser enfermera, pero de repente decides, you know what, Mr. Hall, realmente no quiero hacer eso, quiero hacer algo más en el área de médicos o ciencias, etcétera. Estoy aquí para eso y todo el programa también. Ayudamos también cuando estás listo para transferirse a otra universidad. Además de eso, damos también los viajes o diferentes visitas a diferentes museos, etcétera, fuera en la comunidad. En este instante no lo estamos haciendo por la razón de COVID y también por la pandemia. Pues de seguro volvemos a eso tras que hay una solución a esta pandemia. Además de eso, estamos aquí para trabajar con estudiantes que están motivados, que sí quieren estar parte de nuestro programa, que sí quieren más para ellos mismos, que ellos quieren, básicamente están aquí para estudiar su nivel de universidad. We want scholars that are potential to be able to do college level work. We want them to be able to work towards their goals. We're here to work with them if they were academically underprepared in high school or they have a financial history or history of financial disadvantage. Our support system, nuestro sistema de apoyo, yes, qué excelente, qué algo tan mejor. ¿Por qué no estar aparte de EOF, right? ¿Por qué no estar parte de nuestro programa? Somos lo más excelente programa que usted ha escuchado juntos con Soy Juventud, nuestra familia. Y es importante saber lo siguiente. It's important to know the following. From enrollment to graduation, desde el momento que entras a la universidad aquí en Hudson County Community College hasta el nivel de graduarse, como nuestros estudiantes que se graduó hoy para el semestre de otoño. Just like many of our scholars graduated today for fall of 2020. We're here to support you. So we have our secretary, who is Miss Rosie, our office assistants, our advisors, who are myself and assistant director, Mr. Light. Our director, Mr. Lowe, our instructors, our tutors, our mentors, our community of ASENJ, which is basically a community and program that we have here, a chapter that we'd like to do a lot of community service out in the field, outside, with our scholars to learn and give back to the community. And our EOF SAA community as well. So these are the steps. Estos son los pasos. Estamos aquí alrededor siempre como un ciclo, ¿verdad? Una cadena de verte y apoyarte siempre mientras que estás aquí, desde el momento que entras el pie acá a la universidad hasta que se sales, estás graduando y te vas a transferir. Again, our program is comprehensive. We go from personal, academic to social. Nuestro programa es un programa excelente. Tocamos en fondo sobre la personal, la académicas y también la parte social. We help and support you in different ways. We provide workshops. We also have women empowerment groups. We have a male empowerment group. Tenemos un grupo de apoyo para mujeres que se llama WAVE. That group is called WAVE, and for the guys, for the men, para los hombres, ese grupo de empoderamiento para ellos se llama Men of Hudson. So tenemos diferentes programas. Tocamos en fondo en todo. We're touching upon all the parts of you, because as scholars, we're here to support you and give you what you need. Aside from this, we also are grant funded, right? So something to keep in mind. We do provide you a grant. Sí damos una porción que podemos decir en la terminemos de una beca, pero no es una beca. Es un dinero que damos como un stipend que podemos ayudarte y apoyarte en sus estudios mientras que estás estudiando aquí. Yo soy un alumni de EOF. I'm an alumni of EOF as well, and from Hudson County Community College. EOF actually helped me all the way up to my master's in social work. So la programa me ayudó hasta mi maestría en trabajo social. Y esos son los beneficios. So, ese poquito de dinero que damos, es para ti. Pero hay requisitos. There is requirements of you. Yes, we provide you a grant, but remember, it's not only about the grant that we provide. It's something bigger. It's about the connection. Es la conexión, la familia que damos. Que usted puede ver aquí en esta foto, nuestros estudiantes, ¿verdad? Nuestros estudiantes acá en Jersey City, también Union City, el programa del verano que hacemos una experiencia increíble. Este semestre pasada, en verano, tuve que ser virtualmente, pero fue excelente. Y ayudamos a los estudiantes a entrar a la universidad dando cursos de inglés y matemáticas. We give classes during our summer program to help prepare you for whether it's English and math before you come into the college. And then you take the placement exam to then test out and work onto your college level classes. So it's an amazing program that we offer, especially not only just certain parts of the year. We're here all year round. Estamos aquí alrededor del año, no solamente del verano. Ayudamos para que usted pueda salir de esas clases básicas en el verano, pero estamos aquí alrededor del año para apoyarte y darte ese, básicamente, apoyo y también ese familia que uno necesita mientras que está estudiando. Nuestro programa es un logro. Our program is a success. Why not? Because it is. How is it? Well, because of you. For our scholars, por ejemplo, nuestros estudiantes han hecho un trabajo increíble. Nuestro programa está alrededor de la Universidad, Union City, aquí también en Jersey City. Our program is all around. And many of our scholars are EOF. You will hear about our program constantly. And so with that being said, just things to keep in mind. Applying to our program, you can follow us on social media. I will be definitely dropping the link for our application to our program. If you're already here in Hudson County Community College, si estás aquí ya en Hudson County Community College, puedes aplicar. Si estás pensando de entrar a la universidad o transferirte, también, if you're thinking about transferring and coming to the college as well. Recordándolos que este es un programa para los estudiantes que están estudiando para una carrera. This program is for the scholars who are studying here for credits for their careers. If you're only looking to just study English, that's something separate. But if you're looking to study your career, we're going to be able to here to support you as a program. Just things to keep in mind. Again, puedes seguirnos en el Twitter, en el Instagram y también aquí en Facebook. Y otra vez, muchas gracias. Esta es mi presentación. Y otra vez, aquí estoy para apoyarlos. Unas preguntas. Do you guys have any questions? Por favor.
Thank you so much, Sajal. We are so happy to have a partnership with you, and your passion for EOF and all that is with your institution is contagious. That's completely a great honor to have you with us. And speaking about EOF, I know that a lot of our students who even applied to our own scholarship are very interested in joining EOF. They're either high school seniors, they might be citizens, residents, undocumented, so they want the most information as possible. I think one of the questions I would ask is how does EOF work with, like, in terms of other programs that might be at your institution? I know that we talked about NJ Stars, Diana mentioned that last time, but what are the types of cross programs that you might work with?
So pretty much our program, we're a grant-funded, state-funded program. So we're through the state. So it's important that scholars understand that they apply when they're doing their financial aid, that they apply and they do their state financial aid, okay? Now, for those who are undocumented, there's a thing called New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid. We will not know their eligibility until they apply through there. So we work with different programs here on campus, such as a financial aid department, such as NJ Stars. We work with honor societies like Phi Theta Kappa. We work with the NSLS, that's another honor society. We have our own Chi Alpha Epsilon. But we also work with different programs and departments such as Student Life, such as the Mental Health and Counseling Center. We work with different departments here on campus to support our scholars. But to determine their eligibility of the program, they must fill out their HISA, their NJ FAMS application to determine whether or not, depending on their income, if they qualify for the EOF program. Tienen que aplicar para la ayuda financiera por el estado de New Jersey, que se llama HISA o NJ FAMS. Puedes escribirlo ahí en Google y pueden chequearlo sobre más información. Y para las personas que son indocumentados, hay dinero para ustedes. Por favor, que sepan. Y además de nuestro programa también que puede apoyarte dependiendo de tu ingreso. So, aplicas, verificas, puedes averiguar y aplicar a nuestro programa y podemos averiguar dependiendo de su elegibilidad, dependiendo de tu ingreso. Y así podemos averiguar si puedes entrar a nuestro programa. But those are the programs that we work with. We work with you guys as well, with Soy Juve. We work with different organizations outside. We definitely are providing different resources. We recently collaborated with other departments. We brought Women Rising in, being able to talk about domestic violence. We started a series. So we're doing different things and working with our food pantry. So we work with different departments here on campus and different organizations. So these are things that we do. So we're an amazing, excellent program to be a part of. You know, you get to have a counselor like me throughout the 2 years that you're here, 3 years that you're here. You have Mr. Knight, you have Mr. Lowe, and you have the rest of our staff to be able to support them. We have tutoring, we have mentorship, we have different things. We support scholars to get into leadership roles here on campus because we want them to excel. We want them to be able to succeed as scholars. And that's why I don't call them students. I call them EOF scholars because that is what they are, and they exemplify that.
Thank you so much, Sajal. I wanted to actually make sure that if anybody has any questions during the Q&A session or if they want to contact you directly, is there a good email to send an inquiry?
Yes, please. They can email us and contact me at Parek. So my first name, Tejal. So TPAREKH at hccc.edu. They can also contact our program, which is EOF at hccc.edu. And then they can also apply to our program, which is www.hccc.edu/EOF. Puede contactarme ahí en esa información, ahí está mi correo electrónico, también en nuestro sitio de web. Por favor, de asegurarse de aplicar si estás aquí en el college o estás pensando de aplicar y entrar a la universidad. Lo apoyamos, es el momento tan indicado. It's just a time to definitely come in to college. You know, it's becoming to a point where people are starting to see and reevaluate their decisions. And we're here to support you guys. So please join us.
Thank you so much. And I know that we definitely want to also have that vibe with all of our students, our applicants, the whole environment that, you know, this is the time, get your information, and everyone, really, panelists here and the people who are working with us are really willing to help you as much as possible.
Yes, agreed. And we promote that, and we want everyone to know, especially as scholars, that, you know, and the applicants, that no están solos. Please just know you're not alone. We're here to support you. You know, we want you to succeed. Queremos que ustedes sean, básicamente, well, Miss Tejal está cansada, un largo día hoy, pero básicamente queremos ver que todos sus logros lleguen a suceder y todos sus sueños. Y recuerda que cualquier sueño que tengas no es tan pequeño y tú puedes lograr todo. No dejas que ni tu status, don't let your status, ni tu situación, your situation, whether financially or anything, stop you. Your dreams don't stop. 2020 is not canceled, and 2021 is not canceled either, okay? El 2020 no está cancelado y tampoco 2021, okay? Ni COVID ni pandemia. Tenemos que seguir para adelante.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
And we definitely will be in contact with you. And everyone who is also watching, again, if we can put the email, Tajal's email, and the way to apply to the program, it's the time to do so.
Excellent. Woo, woo, woo! Awesome. Thank you so much. Es siempre una bendición. Thank you all. Thank you for the work that you guys are all doing, and to the rest of the panelists as well. You know, if there's anyone that wants to collaborate with us, please reach out. We're always looking to do that, to however we can promote success to our scholars. So thank you otra vez. Mil bendiciones. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it, guys. Just like she just said, no dream is too big, no dream is too small. Don't let anything, not your status, not your situation, stand in the way. So for our next guest is a professor from Rutgers University. He is here to talk about the, well, pretty much all of it, the admissions process, and also what scholarships you guys can go for once you get accepted. And without further ado, Professor Arturo Osorio Fernandez.
Hello everyone, hola, buenas noches. That's going to be a tough act to follow. Eso va a ser un acto muy difícil de seguir, demasiada energía, muy tarde en el día. That was going to be tough to follow. So, I'm going to be switching English and Spanish. Voy a estar haciendo inglés y español, just to make sure that I can reach to everybody. Por favor, pongan preguntas en el chat. Please post your questions in the chat. I'll try to address everything that I can. And if I'm talking too fast, I will ask the host to tell me to slow down. Por favor, si tienen preguntas, pónganlas en el chat. Si estoy hablando demasiado rápido, por favor, díganme para que baje la velocidad. Tiendo a hablar muy rápido. Rápido en inglés, impresionante en español. So, having said so, what is Rutgers? There are 3 universities, and I'm going to be sharing some general information. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm going to be going through the steps so people know the differences. Entonces, ¿quién es Rutgers? Rutgers son 3 universidades. Voy a compartir mi pantalla para ir compartiendo información con ustedes y de ahí vamos a ir manejándolos, ¿ok? So, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Y esto, this is how it goes. So now you can see what I see. Ahora ustedes pueden ver lo que veo. Entonces, Rutgers. There are, 3 universities for Rutgers. Hay 3 universidades. Camden, New Brunswick, and Newark. The one that I'm going to be speaking the most is about Newark. This is the one that I'm more familiar with. De la que voy a estar hablando más es la de Newark, que es con la que estoy más familiarizado. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que sabemos de Newark? ¿Cómo llegamos a Newark? What do we know about Newark? How do we get there? So, Newark tiene una admisión. So, I'm going to be posting the link for this page on the chat. I already passed it, so you know what it is. Good news, the pandemic makes our life easier. Buenas noticias, la pandemia hace nuestra vida un poco más fácil. Ironía. Ironic. So, in Newark, we have the opportunity to do virtual coffee with counselors online. You can make an appointment to talk to a financial aid counselor so it can walk you through the process and know how to help you best. And you can enroll as a transfer student. Entonces, puedes tener una admisión en línea, puedes juntarte con un consejero financiero para que te ayude a saber cuál es tu mejor plan y puedes transferirte. Rutgers, el proceso de admisión se cerró ya para alumnos de nuevo ingreso para el 2021, pero todavía está abierto en caso por caso. 2021 admission process for new students, it's closed, but it's still open on case-by-case basis. Si tú eres un estudiante de transferencia, aplica que estos siguen haciéndose y aceptándose como van. Transfer students, we are on a rolling basis. Now, what is important to know is that for this period, 2021, the admission test is optional. Para este periodo, 2021, el examen de admisión es opcional. Más información la van a encontrar acá. Entonces, ahora, diciéndoles esto, déjenme que pare de compartir la pantalla y pueda charlar con ustedes cara a cara. Now, having said so, let me stop sharing my screen and talk to you face to face. So, what are we talking about here? What is all this fuss about? Rutgers, Newark, and the big shebang. So, good news. Rutgers, Newark is one of the most diverse universities in the United States. Rutgers, la Universidad de Newark es una de las más diversas universidades en los Estados Unidos. And in particular, in the case of students who are of Hispanic background, is a welcome home. En particular, si ustedes son estudiantes de antecedentes hispanos o latinos, es un buen lugar para estar. En Rutgers Newark, we are an Hispanic serving institution. Rutgers Newark es una institución de servicio hispano. ¿Qué quiere decir? 26% de los estudiantes son hispanos. 26% of our students are Hispanic. So, one in every 4 students is Hispanic. 1 de cada 4 es hispanos. We have a wide range of degrees that they are available to you. And we have a wide range of opportunities. We have about 40 different majors. Tenemos alrededor de 40 majors diferentes, de los cuales pueden escoger. Yo soy profesor en la Escuela de Negocios. I'm a faculty in the business school. And within the business school, you can choose supply chain, accounting, marketing, business. Y dentro de la Escuela de Negocios puedes escoger a contabilidad, gerencia, supply chain, que es distribución de logística, y puedes escoger también leadership. Una de las cosas buenas para nosotros es que tenemos también clubs de estudiantes, tales como Alpha, que es el club de estudiantes latino. Within the business school and at Rutgers level, we have the Hispanic clubs like the Alpha. Now, going in concrete, services available to students that they are at Rutgers. En concreto, servicios disponibles a estudiantes en Rutgers incluyen servicios financieros, financial aid. I already showed you where to get it. Ya te mostré dónde conseguirlo. Financial aid. Legal aid, meaning we have a permanent lawyers, permanent legal services that support undocumented students. Tenemos un servicio legal de tiempo completo apoyando estudiantes indocumentados. Te pueden ayudar y guiar con tu proceso de DACA que acaba de extenderse, renovar DACA, ver permisos de trabajo y demás. Este servicio es disponible para estudiantes. Our legal services for undocumented students are available to students who are enrolled in the program, and they include DACA, immigration issues, and the sort. En adición a nuestros servicios legales y servicios financieros, tenemos también lo que llamamos un care team, un equipo de apoyo. The care team is a 911 service where faculty, staff, or students who are in troubles can reach out, and you have access to health services, mental services, food services, financial aid, housing, counseling, legal. Entonces, if you have a problem, you reach out there. There's a SWAT team that will help you. Una de las cosas que tiene la universidad es que tenemos un equipo de ayuda que se llama CARE. Queremos, apoyamos, y incluye legal, alimentos, administrativos, soporte jurídico, casa y económico. This team is designed to tackle any student problem and to help you out. Este programa está diseñado para ayudar a los estudiantes de cualquier tipo de problemas y sacarlo de golpe. I have used this service for my students over this semester, and we have addressed issues of housing, unemployment, mental health, domestic violence. If you are a student, we recognize that you are a person who has a full-time life, and our role is to help you to fulfill your dream as a scholar and helping you to do it by supporting your life. Si eres un estudiante, nosotros entendemos que tienes una vida de tiempo completo, puedes estar trabajando, y nuestro objetivo es ayudarte a ser un scholar y que tengas un degree mientras trabajas y esa es tu vida normal. Our students range in the have the full range of ages, from 18-year-old to 60-year-old. Nuestros estudiantes van de edades de 18 años a 60. Hay estudiantes casados, solteros, jefes de familia. We have students who are married, single, heads of the household. We offer all types of financial aid, scholarships. These are offered on case-by-case basis and based upon your needs. Nosotros ofrecemos todo tipo de ayuda financiera y soporte. Esto es en caso a caso y tienes una cita con tu consejero y él te ayuda. Otra de las cosas que queremos resaltar es que también ofrecemos oportunidades de trabajo dentro de la universidad para que puedas tener un ingreso mientras estudias. We have employment opportunities within the university, so you can work within the university while you study. Again, these are on case by case and they have requirements based upon your GPA and your area of study. Estas oportunidades de empleo dentro de la universidad tienen un requerimiento de grado y también dentro del área de que estudias. Something that is very important to notice is that we have what is called the Honors Living and Learning Program. Algo que es importante notar es que tenemos el programa de Honors Living and Learning, honores viviendo y aprendiendo. This is a program that offers housing, food, and scholarships. Este es un programa que ofrece casa, comida y beca for students who can work within the community, for the community, and they aspire to make a change. Esto es un programa que se ofrece para estudiantes que quieren trabajar con la comunidad, por la comunidad y aspiran a generar un cambio para la comunidad. Para aplicar para este programa es algo automático que haces cuando aplicas. Cuando tienes tu forma de admisión, haces clic y automáticamente tu forma pasa. No tiene un requerimiento de GPA, tiene un requerimiento de intención. El GPA se considera al final del programa, pero no es un procedimiento de descalificación. Honors Living and Learning is a program for students who wants to make a change in the community. It does not have a GPA requirement to apply. It's something that you apply directly when you do the form. You just click on it. GPA is considered, but it's not disqualifying. Entonces tenemos, Newark tiene ingresos, if you want to, is financial aid, opportunities on different degrees, and what is very important is a large number of our students is transfer students. So Rutgers Newark is a research institution, is a type A institution, and we take transfer students. Rutgers Newark es una institución de investigación de alto nivel, de alta posición internacional, y tomamos estudiantes de transferencia. Si eres un estudiante de un community college, you are welcome to apply to Rutgers Newark. You just transfer your degrees, you look your package, you talk to your counselor. We welcome you in the university. Si eres un estudiante que en un community college de New Jersey, habla con tu consejero en tu community college, pon tu paquete de transferencia, transfiere a Newark. Puedes terminar con un degree con tu community college y un degree con la universidad. If you do this, you can end with a degree on your community college and with a degree on the university. And with this, believe it or not, I'm on time. My 10 minutes are up, and I have covered all the things that I have covered. I have posted my link for admissions. You can make an appointment there. You can talk to people in different areas, and I'm open to any questions. So, mis 10 minutos pasaron. Estoy en tiempo. Dije todo lo que tenía que decir. Pasé también el link que necesitaba. Por favor, tómense el tiempo de hacer clic en el link, visitar los recursos, hagan el virtual tour de la universidad, hagan cita con nuestros consejeros, conozcan más y voy a quedarme aquí para responder preguntas. Gracias. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Professor Osorio. We're actually going to put the question right now that was in the comments. So Dana asks, what scholarships or fellowships are available to a student at Rutgers?
Okay, so the basic, we have the state scholarships that are available throughout the state. We have as well access to FAFSA. And we have a merit-based scholarship depending upon the program or the degree. And we have as well work scholarship or work aid. Tenemos becas, iguales general de apoyo por el Estado. Tenemos becas federales, becas estatales. Tenemos grants y aplicaciones de apoyo económico dependiendo del programa al que aplican. Y también tenemos oportunidades de trabajo. Estas varían de departamento a departamento y de caso a caso. Su mejor opción es aplicar en el link que di. Ellos toman tu perfil y te hacen un portafolio de oportunidades. So, the best option for you is to go to the link that we posted. You click there, you ask for an appointment with the financial aid officer. They take your information and they put together a portfolio of financial aid and financial availability just for you.
Perfect. And the other question I also wanted to bring up is that you are a fellow at the Center for Urban Entrepreneurship and Economic Development. Are there other somewhat undergraduate and graduate fellowships that you can explain that might be related to that center or other centers that Rutgers?
Oh gosh, that's the Pandora's box. Esta es la caja de Pandora. We have 40 degrees, 40 majors. We have, tenemos 40 majors. Centros que tenemos: real estate, economic development, leadership, women leadership, supply chain, public-private partnerships, accounting, clubs of finance. This is just in business school. En la escuela de negocios, economic development, manejo de bienes raíces y desarrollo económico, centros de distribución, mujeres leaderships, tenemos public-private, colaboraciones públicas y privadas. Ahora, medicina. In medicine, we have cancer research, nutrition research. We have oncology, vaccine. Tenemos cáncer, vacunas, medicinas, nutrición. Then we can go into the area of arts and science. We have periodismo, news. We have reporting, theater, music, film, jazz, periodismo, música, jazz, reporteros, multimedia. I can just keep going. But I think I can give you the link for all the centers that we have, so students know the areas and they can apply. So, estudiantes pueden ver qué centros tenemos, pueden aplicar y pueden buscar oportunidades de trabajo y empleo o de apoyo de investigación en estos centros. Students can look at this link that I'm going to post, and they can talk to the people who's in charge of this and just look for opportunities to work and collaborate in different areas of research and support.
And one last question, as a professor at Rutgers Business School, can you name a few companies that they have good partnerships with in terms of internships and full-time jobs?
Okay. I can give you some. Within the business school alone, we have partnerships, for example, with what is called? It's called Bitcoin companies. I literally just posted 2 weeks ago 4 different job opportunities for recent graduates for Bitcoin. Hace 2 semanas presenté 4 oportunidades de empleo para recientes graduados en la industria del Bitcoins. Los sueldos para estos iban entre $75,000 a $85,000 plus benefits. The salaries were between $75,000 to $85,000 plus benefits. Tenemos además Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, tenemos JP Morgan, tenemos también partnership with the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Tenemos también, from the top of my head, tenemos una feria de negocios. We have a job fair where we have about 30 companies that they come twice a year to do hiring. We have with Goya también. We have with, so those are just from the top of my head right now.
So perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Rosario. También queríamos agradecerte por estar con nosotros hoy noche y también un congratulations por estar como nominado al Top Latino Index too. Thank you for being a pillar in our community, in the newer community and Latino community here in New Jersey. So we will have a couple questions and answers at the end. You can feel free to stay for that, as well as they can also ask the questions regarding admissions if they have that, and they can go on the link that we already had put up. But thank you so much, and we definitely want to continue our partnership with you.
Perfect. I look forward to hear about questions and to see people coming my way so I can work with whomever wants to come with us.
Perfect. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Professor Osorio.
Thank you. Gracias.
Okay, everyone. We, once again, in case you missed any of the links or the emails that we've streamed at the bottom of the screen, we will show them again at the very end of the video. And also, if you have any questions or comments, please write them in the comments section at the bottom of your Facebook video viewer. And also, fun fact, we're also streaming this live on YouTube. So if you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to put in a question or comment on YouTube as well. So our next guest is actually from a major foundation, presenting Adrián Calderón from the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute.
Hola, buenas noches. Thank you all so much. I'm so glad to have this platform to kind of share some of the resources that we have for your students and for the general community. I want to take this opportunity to kind of tell you a little bit about who we are. As David mentioned, we are a national nonprofit organization based out of Chicago, Illinois. But I love my job because I get to travel all across the country. I have literally worked in 42 of the 50 states. I'm trying to get to 50 of them. But I have a space in my heart for the Northeast, for the New Jersey area, because there are so many resources out there that have already been mentioned. Rutgers and Hudson are great institutions, and they've mentioned the EOF program. They've mentioned NJ STARS. They've mentioned that they have resources for undocumented students. And as I travel across the country, I want your participants, your audience, to know how precious those resources are, because they're not necessarily readily available across the country. And so I want to begin with that. Thank you so much for having me here. As I said at the beginning, my name is Adrián Calderón, and I want to talk to you all about some of the resources that we have. If I could condense everything that we do, it would be that we conduct leadership development programs where we go into communities and we help participants have a better understanding of how their local government operates, in the hopes that this will make them more civically engaged. We do a similar program on college campuses that is currently running as we speak, where students learn the ins and outs of how funding works on their college campuses, building student organizations and building coalitions. And so through our leadership programs, our participants learn a lot of those soft skills. We also have our education initiatives, what we call our student leadership series, where we try to encourage people to create a culture of education. Now, that's an understanding that everyone in a student's life has the potential to get them to that next level, whether that means transitioning from middle school to high school to undergrad, undergrad beyond. And so we want to make sure that students have a plan for that next phase in their life. We also do a lot of voter registration. That's kind of where our organization started back in the 1980s, was through voter registration and registering as many potential voters as possible. And then finally, the last part of our aspect is research, where we publish a almanac of Latino politics, where we break it down to specific state profiles. But the real reason why I'm here today is to kind of talk to you about scholarships. Now, we conduct scholarships across the country, but I'm going to give you a very condensed version of that, all right? Mis padres son inmigrantes, right? My parents immigrated to this country back in 1968. And my mother came here with very little education. My mother came here with a 6th grade education, and my father with a 3rd grade education. So they couldn't really help or promote education for me beyond helping me with my homework when I was in middle school, to just telling me to push myself, because even though they didn't have as much education as they wanted, they understood that it was the key to get to that next level. And that's what I want to focus on, is what is going to help you get to that next level. I'm a firm believer that the more you write something down, the more you put into place all those small steps, the more likely you are to achieve that goal or that end result, right? I come across students all across the country that tell me they want to do amazing things in their life. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. And the first thing I ask them is, what are you doing right now to get you along that journey? What are the small steps that you can be doing now as a senior in high school to get to that next level? And usually they don't have a response. Well, I tell them, well, you could volunteer. Get your foot into a door into your local a hospice, a local clinic. Volunteer your time. Surround yourself with these people whose career path you want to follow. Figure out a way to get your foot in the door. I'm a firm believer that the more you write something down, the more likely you are to accomplish it. And that's where scholarships come into play. Most people see scholarships as a great way to pay for your education, and they are. But I also want students to understand that it's a great way to learn more about yourself, to learn what your career goals are, to learn what you want to accomplish, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Because the truth is, any scholarship you apply for, they ask you the same questions. Who are you? Why do you deserve this? And what do you plan on doing with it? I want you to kind of tilt that on its side and think about it as, who are you? What are your goals and dreams? And how do you plan on getting there? That's why at USHLI, we've been able to kind of break down our scholarships into 4 major parts. And I will tell the audience that I believe most people will find that most scholarships can be broken up into these 4 parts. There's your resume, your transcript, your essay, and your letters of recommendation, right? Most students know what a transcript is, but they don't understand the kind of story that goes behind it. For our applications, we're looking for well-rounded individuals who want to give back to their community, utilizing their education. So what does that mean? Sometimes I get asked by students, well, you know, I don't want to do social work. So how can I give back to my community? As if that was the only way to give back to your community, is to work for a nonprofit or to work for a government agency that works directly with individuals. A student came up to me not too long ago and said, well, I want a degree in finance. How is that going to help me help my community? And I said, well, first of all, and an EOF program has mentioned it and Rutgers has mentioned it, it's about learning financial literacy, understanding how a credit card works, understanding how a mortgage works, understanding how we need to save in order to build up our credit, right? Those are things that our communities need the most. Those are the type of workshops that many people are, you know, starving for. And so as a finance major, that is one aspect in which you can give back to your community. So it doesn't matter what you end up studying. It doesn't matter which career path you follow. There is always something that you can use to give back to your community. And our scholarship is looking for those individuals who want to give back to the community, who are well-rounded individuals. So, as I mentioned before, the initial part is a transcript. Most students see that as, hey, I have excellent grades. I'm going to put this front and center, and that's going to be my participation in this scholarship. And I tell people that even if you didn't do so well at the beginning of high school, but you eventually started to improve your grades, that in itself tells a story about what you've been able to overcome. Hey, I struggled freshman year, sophomore year. I found my feet in junior year, and I really started to strive by my senior year. If you can implement that into your story, your personal story, that is going to work. That's going to benefit your application. So a scholarship, don't think about that transcript as just one aspect of it. That transcript can tell so much about who you are as an individual, whether you're making an effort, whether you're trying. And if your grades were struggling or it was erratic, you can explain in that personal statement exactly what you're looking for. So that's our transcript. The next part is your resume. Now, I'll tell you this, most high school students, especially freshmen and sophomores and a few juniors, have never written a resume. And this is where I tell them that it's important to start now, because the truth is a resume is with you for the rest of your life. It stays with you and it grows with you. I asked the students, how long do they think it took me to write my first resume? I wrote my first resume when I was a junior. Do you know how long it took me to finish it? I'm still working on it today, because that's what a resume is. It grows with you. You're going to have more experience, more education this time next year. So I recommend to your entire audience, if you don't have a resume, start writing one today. If you do anything that I ask of you during this workshop, during this program here, is that you at least start writing a resume. Put pen to paper, start putting out these ideas, because the truth is, the earlier you start your resume, the sharper and more polished it's going to be when you actually need it for an internship, for a scholarship, for a job, for an application to a college or university. That's my advice to you all. So we have our transcript, we have our resume. The next part is probably my favorite part, but it's also the most difficult part. It's the essay, right? The essay is your life story. I want to hear about who you are as an individual. I want you to put all these different aspects of your life together. And I usually ask students to write and think about putting down as much information as they can. If you play a sport in your school, I want you to write a paragraph about you playing a sport. If you play an instrument, write a paragraph about that. If you volunteer, write a paragraph. But then I also want you to do some background. Write a paragraph about your parents, maybe your ancestors. Write a paragraph about your siblings. Write a paragraph about your community, right? Write a paragraph about what you want to study and why. Think about that moment that led you down to say, that's why I want to be a lawyer. That's why I want to be an educator, a teacher, and write about that in a paragraph form. Before you know it, you end up with 12, 13, 14 paragraphs. All put together, that's a 3 to 4 page long essay. And the truth is most scholarships are only asking for 1 or 2 pages, usually 500 to 1,000 words. And so putting all of those pieces together helps you kind of realize, this is who I am. These are my ultimate goals. These are the steps I'm going to take to get there. So filling out a scholarship application puts you one step closer to your ultimate goal and dream. And if you look at scholarships in that way, you'll be encouraging yourself to apply for 10, 15, 20, 30 different scholarships, because the truth is, that's what it's going to take in order to help pay for your tuition. But it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can take it step by step. And then the fourth part of our scholarship would be a letter of recommendation. This is a part where I usually ask students, how many of you can submit a letter of recommendation within 24 hours? Most of them can't. A few of them can. But let me break down what makes a great scholarship letter. Not a good one, but a great letter of recommendation. That is a letter from someone who knows your life story, who knows your struggle, who know how hard is it to wake up every single day and show up to that classroom, to put in the work. Those are the people that can write you the best letters of recommendation. Another name for these individuals is mentor. And you've already heard some of our other participants mention mentoring, tutoring, all of these different skill sets that we need to start developing now so that we can prepare for applying for scholarships. Use those mentorships to start thinking about our different pathways for education. So to summarize, transcript, resume, essay, and letters of recommendation. If you can master these 4 main parts, you'll be able to apply for the majority of scholarships that you come across. Now, the next aspect I want to talk about is understanding who your audience is. Because in reality, you can't write the same essay for the Juventud scholarship that you would for a USHLI scholarship. You have to learn about that organization, learn about their background, and figure out what type of student they're looking for. And then focus on those key aspects that really bring you out. So that's my tip to you all, is to really understand who your audience is and what's going to get you to that next level. Finally, I want to end on this note, and that is an understanding that sometimes it can seem overwhelming. Sometimes you can feel exhausted, but you have to find something that can help push you to that next level. Something that can help you continue to working. When you feel exhausted, when you feel tired, when you've stayed up late to study or cram for an exam and you just feel like you can't give anymore, I want you to focus on specific moments that can give you the gas, the fuel to keep going. And I want to share one of those moments that I have with you all. See, now I mentioned my parents. They came with very little education. So by the time I came in high school, they couldn't help me with my math homework or my science homework, but they still pushed education. The truth is that I wasn't doing as well as I could have in school because in reality, I wanted to coast. I wanted to just get by because I learned very early that if I do very well in school, people kind of put a lot of pressure on you and they focus all these bright lights on you. But when you don't do so well, they focus a different kind of light on you. They put a different amount of focus, but still pressure nonetheless. And I just wanted to be left alone. I wanted to just kind of coast, right? And that's what I did for the longest time. And my parents worked hard every day, all day, right? My mom basically worked every moment that she was awake because my parents' relationship was very old school. So when my mom left home to she would go out, she would leave home to find an odd job wherever she could find it, whether it was as a camp counselor, as a lunch lady for a couple of months, as a niñera, right? The neighborhood babysitter. Other folks would go to work, couldn't afford daycare, so they would drop them off. My mom would watch them, right? My mom helped raise half the kids on my block. And in between each of those odd jobs, my mom would look through the streets of Chicago, look for empty cans, put them into a bag, turn them into recycling just to put a couple of more dollars on the table. And when she came home, she still had to take care of her kids. She still had to kind of discipline us, feed us, right? And care for us, right? So as an adult, I realized my mom had very limited free time. You all know what I mean by free time? I'm talking about all the time that we use to, binge Netflix, to hang out with our friends, to just goof off. Like, that's your free time. My mother only had about 1 hour where she could do whatever she wanted. And you know what she did with that 1 hour? She sat on the couch and she watched her favorite novelas. And that's the way it was. Now, fast forward to the type of student I was. When she heard that I wasn't doing my best, that I wasn't trying my hardest, my mother came right up to my school and demanded to speak to my teacher and said, what are you doing to help my son do better? Because he's not doing his best. And they would tell her and give her the advice, the same thing they would tell most students. He needs to focus. He needs to think about his future. He needs to analyze who he's surrounding himself with. My mom, still not satisfied, went and spoke to my counselor. Counselor told her the same thing. Still not satisfied, she went and spoke to the principal. Principal tells her that we help all of our students to become the best possible student they can, and we support them in any way we can. Finally, my mom took all that information, waited for me one day when I got home from school, sat me down in that kitchen table, and tried to repeat the same things. But it would just go in one ear and out the other, because I was tired of hearing the same things over and over again, and I just wanted to get by my classes. My mom finally came up with something, and she goes, Miko, you're in high school. You're going to graduate this year. When I came to this country, I only came here with a 6th grade education. She goes, I bet I can get my GED before you finish high school. And my reaction was, okay, what does that mean to me, right? So before I knew it, she says, okay, let's make a bet. I'm going to get my GED before you finish high school. So I walked away from the table thinking, what is this woman up to? I don't understand what's going on. And then little by little, I start to notice something. Little by little, my mother, who works all day, every day, only has 1 hour to do whatever she wants. I saw her sit on that couch and turn off the TV. My mom turned on the lamp. My mom started reading. My mom started writing. She started working on math problems. But here's when it really got to me. This woman came up to me, her youngest son, and said, Miko, can you help me with my homework? Miko, can you help me put this together? I have a book report due at the end of the week. Can you help me figure it out? This woman who works all day, every day, only has 1 hour to do whatever she wants, and she's using it to better herself. I thought the least I could do is try, right? She works all day, every day, has very little education, only has 1 hour to do whatever she wants, and she's using it to better herself. The least I could do is try. And I'll be honest with you, I did the bare minimum of trying a little harder. And little by little, I started to focus more. I started to think about a future beyond high school. And yes, I even started to analyze who I was surrounding myself with. And it all culminated in what I thought was going to be the greatest day of my life, high school graduation. Because my entire family was there. They were ready to go crazy and nuts the second they called my name. I grabbed my diploma. I hear my family shouting. I jumped off that stage and I ran into the audience looking for my mother to give her the biggest hug possible and say, thank you, Mom. I love you. Te quiero mucho. You pushed me to become a better student. And I thought that was going to be the greatest moment of my life. But 2 weeks later, I walk into this tiny little community center on the south side of Chicago, and I saw my mom stand in front of her friends and her peers, and she got her GED. That's when I realized my mother had just taught me a life lesson that I take with me everywhere I go across this beautiful country. No matter how busy we all are, no matter how much drama is going on in our lives, with our families, with our friends, we can always do a little better. We can always try a little harder. And that's the real life lesson that I learned, that I use. That is part of my personal story. It's these type of very specific, detailed stories that work best when it comes to applying for scholarships, because committees want to know who you are. Many of you can say, hey, I'm Latinx, soy Latino, soy Hispano, My parents are immigrants, right? They have little education first, and my family to go to college. A lot of us can share that story, but it's not until we get into our specific stories, the details. That's what's going to separate your application from anyone else's. Now, our scholarship is actually has passed. The deadline has passed, but I want to leave up a challenge to you all that if you still go to our website, ushli.org, and look for our scholarships, take a look at the details and what it takes to apply for each one. And if you send me a direct message, I will be more than happy to walk you through what the process is, what we look for in a student, and answer any of your questions. Because what I understand is most students kind of have a generic story. And I'm telling you, you have to get into specifics. The more you share about a personal event, something that triggered your mind, something that flipped on a switch to say, this is why I want to be an engineer. This is why I want to go into coding. This is why I want to start my own nonprofit. The more you express those personal stories, the better you're going to come across in that application. And if you go to our website and you send me an email, you can schedule a meeting with me, and I will literally walk you through step by step on how to best apply for our scholarship. And this is information that you could use to apply for almost any scholarship across the country. And I say that this is a challenge to you all because the truth is most students don't take me up on this offer. As a matter of fact, most students don't apply for scholarships. In my travels across the country, every single year, and this is not me being hyperbolic, I'm not exaggerating. Every single year I hear about one scholarship opportunity, whether it's national, regional, or just local within one particular school. I hear about a scholarship where they received 0 applicants. I want you to think about that. What does that mean? That means no one took the time to apply for the scholarship. But at the same time, had you turned in something, even if it was a really bad essay, guess what? You would have won that scholarship. And the truth is, most students quit before they even begin. We have a scholarship called the Roomba Meets Scholarship. This is only our 2nd year conducting this scholarship. Last year, we only had 100 applications, and we gave away 25 awards. There's something about scholarships. It's difficult to promote them, to get the information out there. Students look at it and feel like, I don't have the time for it. Why am I going to invest in it? $1,000, that's not enough. I'm going to owe tens of thousands of dollars for college. But the truth is, you have to build on it. You have to add. If you win the Roomba Meet Scholarship, then you win the Juventud Scholarship, then you win another scholarship, that's $3,000 right there. $3,000 that doesn't come out of your own pocket. That doesn't mean you have to take out an subsidized private loan to pay for your education. But the truth is, most students quit before they even begin. And every single year, I hear of one scholarship where they have 0 applicants. Our scholarship, we gave away 25, only 100 applications. This year, we did a lot better with our new scholarship. We received about 200 of them, and we're still giving away 25 scholarships. If you're talking about odds, I will take those odds any day. You're more likely to understanding how amazing those odds are of winning. If you just submit anything, not even a well-polished application, your odds of winning that scholarships are so much better than, most of us have at figuring out, having our favorite sports team win the championship, right? The odds of winning this scholarship are so much better for you. And I'm telling you, this is the case across the country. We have to take every opportunity we can to apply for these scholarships. So let's wrap that up again from the beginning. Scholarships, master these 4 parts. A transcript. Everyone should be able to get a copy of this transcript. Learn it, understand the best narrative using the current grades you have. Resume. If you don't have one, start writing one today. Share it with people. And I'll be honest with you, the hardest part for me was sharing it and other people thinking that it was a really bad resume. Here's the truth. Whenever you write your first draft, It's always bad. Get it out of your system. Put it all out there. When you see a basketball team right before they start their game, they're shooting basketballs because they're trying to get rid of any of that bad mojo, right? That bad momentum, those bad shots. They're trying to get into a rhythm. It's the same thing when it comes to resume. You got to get into a rhythm of learning how to write a resume. And you're only going to do that by sharing it with other people, getting feedback, and building it from there. Transcript, resume, your essay. Figure out what your story is. Because the truth is, we're three-dimensional people. But we're being asked to put ourselves on a flat piece of paper, two-dimensional space. We're bound to miss something. Use every aspect of your scholarship, every part of it, to tell your story. The more you share of yourself, the more personal you get into that story, the better the picture you can build, the better your overall application is going to be, and the easier it's going to be for you to stand out amongst the crowd. Because that's what we're looking for, is well-rounded students that want to give back to the community, that have specific ideas and plans to get there. Finally, I can't emphasize this enough, mentorship. You have to start building these mentorships, developing these relationships with these individuals. Share your story, get advice from them, learn from their experience. In doing those three things, you can develop a very strong mentorship. And when you need a letter of recommendation, these are the individuals you go to. And you got to have a couple of them in your pocket. You can't just hold on to that same one person and use that same letter across the board. You're going to have to focus on what type of scholarship you're applying for. And finally, I'll leave you with this. There are hundreds and hundreds of different types of scholarships for all kinds of things: sports, music, extracurricular, volunteerism. There are scholarships for people with freckles, people who dance, people who are left-handed, a wide range of them. And in New Jersey, I know for the fact there are several scholarships that are open to Latinx students in the state of New Jersey, so you're only competing against other students in New Jersey. And finally, I'll end with this. Our scholarship, both of them are open to undocumented students. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, hopefully I'll see a lot more applicants from the New Jersey area participating and joining our scholarship applications. And again, I'm your humble servant. Please go to our website. Even if it's a simple question, I'll be more than happy to answer it. I am the chair of both of our selection committees. So if you've never had a chance to talk to these individuals, you can speak to me one-on-one. We'll schedule a video chat, and I'll be more than happy to tell you what our committee is looking for. If there's any questions, I'd love to hear them. I hope I didn't go over my time, and I hope all this information was useful. Telling my personal story took a lot of effort. I didn't have that in my back pocket. It took me speaking about it, writing about it, and I encourage each of the students to do the same, because it's going to help you well beyond college.
Giant thanks to you, Adrian. This has also been, every single little segment that you were talking about has been relevant to also my experience, as well as I know some of our viewers who are tuning in. I also have firsthand with my parents watching my mom get her degree, and it's an emotional experience, and it makes you really think, if she can do it, oh man, I definitely, there's no excuse for me. Yes, I definitely want to have the question that we can stream it from the comments, David. The question that comes from Dana, and it's for Adriana. It's related to the scholarships. Is there a minimum GPA score to apply to the scholarships? And you said you had the Merma Meet scholarship as well as the Dr. Juan Andrade scholarship?
Yes. That's a great question. One of them does have a GPA requirement, 2.5 GPA. That's the Roomba Meet scholarship. And that is only for high school seniors to apply. So even though it's a national program and we only received about 200 applications this time around, you're only competing against other high school students. The Dr. Juan Andrade scholarship for young Hispanic leaders, very long name, right? That does not have a GPA. And there's a story behind that. It's because our founder and president actually struggled in high school and barely made the grade to graduate. And it wasn't until he actually applied and went to college, He went to Howard Payne University in Central Texas and basically worked, full-time as a student and a full-time job while going to school. And now he's got 2 masters and he's got a doctorate in education. So having a strong GPA will open so many doors for you. But I want our students out there that maybe are struggling with their GPA, but still have a commitment, still have a drive to continue to strive to improve their grades. That comes across very clearly for our application, and that GPA should not be a reason why you don't apply for something. I tell students, even if you don't meet and you're just below the GPA, apply anyway, because you never know if they're going to take your application or not. And again, this goes back to what I said. Even though you don't win that scholarship, you still gain something by applying. You learn more about yourself and you just get one step closer to your ultimate goal and dream.
My next question would also be, this will be the question, I'll close it off, and then we'll have your information pop up again. The question is regarding students who possibly don't have community service hours because they are dedicating to financially supporting their family. I know a couple of our applicants as well, we have a requirement for the Juventud scholarship to do 25 hours of community service, but some students, for example, they can do it with us after the deadline because for whatever reason they couldn't have that. But that's a big question for them, is that how do I, especially for scholarships that require community service, or that require that type of student who happens to do everything and is still balancing their academics, how can they stand out knowing that they are trying to balance 2, maybe even 3 jobs?
Yeah, I would say don't count that out. That is amazing to be able to support your family, maybe not because you want to, but because you need to. That is an amazing thing that you're doing. And so I would include that in your overall presentation. Now, how does that relate to community service? It never hurts to ask and follow up with questions. The number one thing that I've noticed, the trend over the last couple of years, and it's because we've been conducting these workshops, is I'm getting so many more questions from potential applicants prior to them submitting their application. So my suggestion would be to ask that organization or that group to say, hey, unfortunately, I don't have the time to offer volunteer because I go to school, but then when I'm not in school or studying, I'm working to help support my family. Sometimes they'll allow you or make an exception for that. And you're not going to get that response unless you ask the question. And let's say worst case scenario, they tell you, well, unfortunately, you must have some kind of experience in volunteering. That's when you can kick up your relationships with people at your university or at your school and ask them, hey, here's the situation I'm in. How can I get these hours in while still having to work and go to school? And again, it never hurts to ask these individuals, because you might come across someone that says, I know exactly how I can help you and how we can benefit each other and how you can still do all of the above as well as include volunteer hours. So it's a tough question. I think you're going to get a different response, but the number one thing to do is to ask them, create a line of communication between them, and more often than not, because we want as many people as possible to apply for these scholarships, people can make exceptions. If you come across professionally and you come across dedicated, you'll find that people will bend over backwards to support you. The stronger your story is, the more people want you to be successful, want you to succeed. But again, it all starts with raising your hand and asking that question. I hope that answers their question, Sylvia.
No, it's absolutely. I think that answers it fully. And I know, sometimes if it comes up where they can't apply to certain scholarships because they have already created the connection, like you mentioned, people will at least also bend over backwards to connect them to other ones, to say, oh, you know what, contact this other person. They probably have better information on this thing that you might be even eligible for. And they'll have either lower GPA or they'll be more flexible regarding those requirements. So let's put the Ushly website first, and then we'll put your email as well. So if anybody has any questions, si están sintonizando y están con preguntas por las becas de the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute, o tal vez si son padres de familia o estudiantes que quieren aplicar para el próximo siglo y quieren tienen unas preguntas, pueden mandar una solicitud por el correo electrónico a Adrián Calderón, que es el Community Outreach Manager for USHLI, and it's acalderon@usually.org.
It's A Calderon, so it's my first initial last name. So I think there's an N missing in the email that you just displayed there. So it's A Calderon, there you go, at ushli.org. And seriously, bug me, bother me, inundate me with emails. This is my job. This is what I love to do. And I'll be more than happy to kind of push it. And I'll tell you this, and maybe, you know, David and you, Sylvia, can attest to this. When you hear from students that are saying, hey, I'm applying for your scholarship, but I have a question. Doesn't that student's name ring in your head when it comes to selecting a recipient? It shows dedication.
Absolutely.
That's how people will get back to you. So I'm not saying, hey, send David, hey, I'm Adrian and I'm applying for your scholarship. It's got to be detailed. It's got to be sincere, and you have to put in the effort. And when you put in the effort and people see that, again, people are willing to go above and beyond to help you be successful.
Thank you so much, Adrian. We are definitely so happy to have connected with you, and definitely in the next few months, you know, we will be having our own events as well, as willing to support your organization and your events as well.
Gracias. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Adrian. There it is, everyone. So again, we'll have all their information at the end of the session. Again, any more questions or comments? Cannot stress this enough. Please add them in the comment section at the bottom of the video. Cualquier pregunta o comentario que ustedes tienen, por favor, agrégalo en el sección de comentarios al fin del video. Y that was so inspirational. Y ahora próximo tenemos a María Andrade, parte del New Jersey Gear Up program from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Good evening.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas
noches.
Muchas gracias por esta invitación. Es un placer colaborar de nuevo con ustedes. Last year, we were fortunate enough to host part of your event in Barringer, and it went so well that we've literally got so much feedback from the community. So things like this work. Cuando nos juntamos, hacemos la fuerza y podemos colaborar. So I'm going to share right now my screen, my Chrome tab, and perfect. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Maria.
Great. So again, my name is Maria Andrade. I represent New Jersey Gear Up. I'm actually the regional ambassador for New Jersey Gear Up State Project. This is a project that's been in New Jersey for almost 20 years. And we have been fortunate enough to continue to grow. Let me see, why isn't that happening? What is New Jersey Gear Up? Gaining early awareness and readiness for undergraduate programs. New Jersey Gear Up, College Bound at NJIT, is a federally funded program with a state-funded match College Bound that serves students in the greater area. The programs offer educational support and assistance to middle and high school students to help them prepare to enroll in a college or university. Students participate in a 6-week program and a 20-week academic year-round program that includes Saturday instruction. So the students come to us to get help. Trio U-Bell, it's our sister program, which is the Trio U-Bell, Upper Bound for English Language Learners. And what this program does is it specifically targets students that may not have English as their first language, and especially students that come abroad, los que recién vienen a estudiar acá in high school. This program helps them prepare with everything that you need to know how to enter college and how to accommodate into what is life here in America. Here are some services that New Jersey Gear Up and New Jersey College Bound provide. So some of the things that we do are counseling. We do individual and group counseling, mentorship, individual and group mentorship, tutoring. We have core instructions, math, science, and language arts, STEM courses, the First Tech Challenge. We have our own robotics team. And then we do parental engagement workshops where we actually have English classes, ESL classes para nuestros padres para que aprendan a hablar inglés y también aprendan a llenar los formularios, que es cuando más necesita nuestros estudiantes el apoyo de la comunidad. Right now, we are not meeting in person, so what we're doing is virtually. And we are, giving students computers. We're giving them all the necessary tools to have a special experience with us during this pandemic. Some of the things that we do offer are job and college scholarship recommendations. So this works out perfectly. For example, a student that comes to my program is able to say, I need a recommendation letter, and we're able to draft that up based on our relationship with them. We do resume and interview workshops. We do a learning style assessment. So we will be able to tell the student if you're a tactile, auditory, or a visual learner, and that's very important for us. College career match assessment. We do personal education plans. We do personality assessments. So you have a student, a Gear Up student, and a Trio student will most likely be very ready and prepared to enter the next stage, which is successfully enrolling into post-secondary programs and succeeding in graduating. We do a senior portfolio development where the sole focus is to capture what you want to do and to capture your interest, capture your strengths, and highlight that and get you ready to match you with the colleges that offer you and want to work giving you scholarships. So Gear Up serves in more than 34 states. I know Juventud Ecuatoriana is based off of New York, and we actually do have a program, a Gear Up program in New York. In New Jersey, you can see that we have many different colleges. So we have Atlantic Cape Community College, Cumberland County College, Rowan University, New Jersey City University, Passaic County Community College, Salem Community College, Mercer County Community College, and New Jersey Institute of Technology. So we are pretty much located statewide, and we are in actually 46 states, serving 523,000 students annually. And we are in partners, Gear Up overall is partners with 3,208 post-secondary schools. Here are some of the pictures for the robotics. So we are an NJIT, which is a science and engineering university, and we offer an amazing robotics program, the STEM FTC robotics. STEM is the future. This is what we're getting the students ready for. And we really understand the aspect of what's going to take you to get into the next step. Here are some pictures, and you can see the student with the robots. They built them, they code them, they programmed them, and then we participate in the First Tech Challenge, which is a national competition for robotics. I don't know if you can see the small font, but these are actual messages from the students on how they feel about the program. You can find us, this program, in this website. Just screenshot it and you can look them up, and they have the Instagram account as well. And here's where we're a little different, right? And we work really hard with our community stakeholders. The organizations that you see here right now are closely tied in with those. Those are our community partners. So one of the things that I want to tell everyone is, when it's time to talk about college, it's just not you and mom. It's you, it's mom, it's your school, your high school, your teachers, your counselors. And then if you're part of us, the Gear Up program or any other pre-college program, we're all in this together for you. For example, with Claramas Medical Center, we were able to start a teen volunteer program that has a pipeline into employment in the hospital. So a student came up to me and said, I want to be a doctor, but what if I go to school and I don't like to do all of that? Luckily, because of our network, your network is your net worth, we were able to have those conversations with our nearby community partners, and we started discussing on how can we make this possible. We teamed up with Claramas Hospital, and we offered a strategic teen volunteer fellowship where the student goes into the hospital, volunteers, learns about what it's like to work in a hospital. Then we do the monthly PEP, personal education plan updates, and we discuss what went wrong, what went right, and how do we move forward. We actually just had 2 students successfully go through that program. They use that program to do their community hours. And because we are partnered up with the city of Newark through the Summer Youth Employment Center, the students that become of age, 14 and older, and not eligible to apply, they can come to us and be part of our program and get paid for it, because we do understand the necessity that we have when it comes to financial burden in our community. So these are some of the organizations that we're closely tied in. And the projects that we really focus on is really bridging the gap of education and opportunity, because we need to work hand in hand for them. And anytime that I call any person from these amazing organizations, the first thing they ask is when and where. What do you need? It's for the kids. And sometimes we forget that how much we're all in this together. And I want to say, let's continue to foster and grow these kind of relationships. Again, as you can see, we have a diverse stakeholders as community partners, because we really do believe in all the strengths of all the students. The same program that we've had with the hospital, we actually have with New Jersey Courts, Essex Vicinage Courthouse, where a student that's interested in doing pre-legal or law does the same program, eventually ending up, when they go into high school, into the fellowship of the entities. And in the case of the students from Claramas, now they're employed while attending medical school. So that's a win for us. And the same thing with the New Jersey court system. They were able to grant some fellowship and be able to do a part-time job placement in the courthouse while doing school. Community outreach and network. So here are some of the past events that we've worked on. We really work with Voice of Leaders Foundation, because it's just not about you being in the program. It's working with the community around you. We've had an amazing opportunity to work with Voice to Leaders Foundation, which is a foundation by Sara Peña. And she hosted this annual conference for Latino youth, specifically for men, for young men, which is something that we really do need to focus on and empower our young men and our young women. For example, our partnerships look something like we will attend the conference, we will have our students attend the conference, and we'll also offer a workshop. In this case, we offered a workshop for the parents where we went over the steps of FAFSA, we went over the step of the college application process in Spanish. Here's the money team. Screenshot this. This is very important. When it's time to college, assemble your college prep team. As I stated in the beginning of the presentation, getting to college requires teamwork. The college preparation process requires gathering a lot of information and making important decisions. You are not alone. And we want to emphasize that a lot of our students panic, and we understand that. But we want to make sure to iterate that we are here for you. Here are your core team, and it's right around you, it's in your community. Members of your team may and can include your mom, your guardian, your guidance counselors, your teachers, mentors, families, and friends. Future tips for success. Your college team, your college prep team should be diverse. It should include people you trust, people you know very well, and people who understand the college going process. And that's a challenge in our community because everyone may not view school the same way. And that's when you have to start assembling your team. Make your college preparation playlist. Again, screenshot this. This is very, I can email this presentation as well. While it may seem a long way off, now is the time to begin planning for college. Be a college-bound student. How do you become a college-bound student? Talk to your parents or guardians about your college plans. Begin to research and visit colleges together. Sometimes we forget that, there's so many colleges around us locally that we don't take advantage of. It doesn't hurt just to go into any office admissions and ask questions. Read books, websites, and online newspapers to build your vocabulary and knowledge base. This is a great tip. Join clubs and activities that are of interest to you, because that's where you'll find that your passion can start to grow from. Volunteer in an organization in your community. Set short and long-term goals for yourself. Carry yourself as a college-bound student. Begin preparing for the SAT and the ACT. Register for the exam for the first time in the spring of your junior year. That may change a little bit because now some colleges are not requiring for you to take those exams to be included in your admission process. How do you pay for college? Student financial aid helps you pay the college bills. The types of financial aid and how do you apply for need-based aid? The types of student financial aid. Grants and scholarship, which is free money that does not need to be repaid. Student employment, such as part-time work, study jobs, which lets you earn as you learn. When you're in college, you may have these opportunities where you're able to go to school and perhaps volunteer to be a tutor and so forth, and then you get paid for it. That's called work study. Student loans, which is money that is repaid over several years, usually with interest. Now, sometimes it comes down to a decision of the loan and making the decision to see if you want to take the loan out and look at it as an investment for your future. But before you do that, you want to be able to maximize the opportunity to exhaust all free money there is available up for grabs. Military student aid, such as ROTC and the GI Bill, where you earn money for your education in exchange for service in the United States Armed Forces. How do you apply for need-based aid? Submit a free application for Federal Student Aid FAFSA online. That's the website where everybody in the nation has to go in and apply. And that's where you apply for grants, loans, and work study. The FAFSA is used to calculate your expected family contribution, or EFC, a measure of your family's annual ability to pay college. This is why when you are completing your FAFSA, you need to have certain documentation so you're able to input the information for the system to generate what is your expected family contribution based on the information you provide from your taxes. A lower EFC makes you eligible to receive more need-based financial aid, such as federal Pell Grant and TAG. Financial need equals cost of attendance minus EFC. So when you're applying for these FAFSA, they're going to ask you to point out how many colleges you want to transfer your application to, because each college is different. And sometimes it comes down to the money game, where you might want to go to your dream school, but that dream school is $40,000. And you may not necessarily get that much money in free money in aid. So this is where your pre-planning works start happening. Your application for scholarships. The speaker previous, Adrian, you mentioned that they only apply for one college. They should stack up. You apply for as many colleges as you want, as many scholarships as you want, so you pile up that money. That money is for you, so you can use it. Students with lower EFC qualify for more financial aid. Students with zero EFC, mostly students with family incomes less than $30,000, have full financial need and qualify for even more financial aid to help pay for school. Here are some resources, some important links. Again, they will be on the chat box. You should be familiar with each and every one of those links, because wherever you live in the USA, these are the links that will actually are going to be what you need to be familiar with. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Thank you so much, Maria, for joining us tonight. I know that some of our viewers they've already been with the program with you, or they are planning to apply to NJIT because they've done the TRIO high school programs as well. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, as well as let's put up Maria's email. She's a pillar in the community, in the newer community, Latina community here. And also congratulations on your nomination for Latino Index as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. We need this. We need these kind of conversations going. The second I found out about Juventud Ecuatoriana, I was amazed. I'm like, how can we collaborate? How do we maximize this? Everyone needs to know about you, because we're all in this together. Some of the things that may not necessarily bring us together is actually some of the things that bring us apart. Right? So we don't ask a lot. That's one thing of our community. We don't ask for information. We assume a lot of the information, and then we think that all this information is exclusively for certain people, where every single one of these programs is funded for free, and it's funded with the whole intent to help our students get to the next step.
Absolutely. I definitely feel like in the next couple of minutes, there might be questions as well, but they can also send it to your email and contact you directly.
Yes.
Perfect. So there's
Sorry about that.
So thank you so much, María, for joining us. If you have any questions, si están sintonizando y tienen preguntas, les pueden mandar un solicitud por correo a andrade@njit.edu.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maria. So now our next guest is from the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, and he is also a recipient of the undergraduate transfer scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nuno Pereira. Good evening.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Very happy to be here. So thank you so much for having me. I am going to keep this very, very brief, unfortunately. I do have to hop onto another call in just a few minutes, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go rather quickly. So I'm going to share my screen and just jump into it. Let me set this up very quickly. And yeah. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. There you go. Good, I can see now. So just very quickly, this is the scholarship page for the foundation. So a lot of the information that I want to share with you is on this page. So make sure that this is your first stop as a reference. Now, just to very quickly hit on important deadlines. Some of them have already passed, unfortunately, but I'm just going to kind of cover them so that way you can prepare for the future. This is one of the first programs. Is the Young Scholar Program. It is for 8th graders. So 7th graders about to go to 8th grade. And then this program will carry them through 8th grade all the way through high school until graduation of the 12th grade. So it's an amazing program, provides a lot of resources for different summer programming and other life-enriching programs. So that is your first opportunity to get into the foundation. My journey really started in the college side. I wasn't a college scholar, I was a transfer, which I'll get to. But this is one way that you can get into the foundation from high school to college, which is the college scholarship program. Again, the deadlines are up there, but you can again follow the link and you can see it all in real time. So this one has just ended, right? So this is at the end of October was the cutoff, but again, begins in the August time. So this is a college scholarship program which covers all 4 years of a 4-year degree, so bachelor's degree. Very generous funding, $40,000 each year, so a total of $160,000 that you can apply for. So it's an amazing opportunity and life-changing at that. Say that you don't have the GPA to get into the program right away, or that you decide, hey, I really want to learn about myself first. I want to go to a community college. That's my own case. That's what I did. And so other opportunity to get involved with the foundation is the undergraduate transfer scholarship. The application is still live right now. So definitely recommend if you're in a situation that you can apply for this, go for it. It is from August 1st to January 6th. So it is starting to come to a close. So make sure if this applies for you, go for it. Again, it's another $40,000 each year up to 3 years. So really it is to wrap up your bachelor's degree after you've done your first 2 years at a community college, graduated with an associate's degree, and you plan on starting in the fall term. And that's an important thing I need to mention for both the college scholarship program and the undergraduate transfer scholarship. You have to be planning to start in the fall of the following year. Otherwise, if you try and start in the spring, you do not qualify. So just keep that in mind. Very, very quickly, I do have a nice little presentation from the foundation. This one is focusing on the transfer scholarship, but it is the details from it do transfer over to the college scholarship as well. Just so you're aware, this is our motto, which is think big, work hard, and achieve. A very self-explanatory motto. The foundation is looking for applicants who are dedicated to really striving for their best and beyond what they know as their current potential. So this is just an idea of who are Cook Scholars. These numbers change a little bit between the programs, but it does give a good idea of who they've accepted in the past. They're looking for people who are striving for these high competitive colleges or universities, who have a strong academic background. As you can see, they're 3.84 for the transfer scholars. This is slightly higher in the college scholars. I believe it's 3.86, but roughly that's what we're looking for. And most importantly, nearly everyone does give back in some way to the community during their time in community college or, again, in high school. So do keep that in mind, that this is something very key and crucial. Whenever I advise any applicants, I always say, what have you done so far, or what do you plan on doing? That is very important to the foundation. So again, part of the goal is to get a lot of the students to these top four-year colleges to give you every opportunity that you can, that you need to really do your best going forward and prepare yourself for your career after your studies. So what is included in the program, right? This is for all the programs overall, is that you do get personalized advising, whether it's for your college transition or just overall your academic journey. You have an individual educational advisor for your program that you can contact at any time. You can set up a short meeting, long meeting, whatever you need to work through any of your current situations. Of course, there's the financial support that is inherent with a scholarship. Again, $40,000 a year for both programs, college and transfer. And again, depends on how long you're going to be there. Aside from the financial and the advising side, you do have a strong cook community. We call ourselves Cookies, play on words. We have many hangouts and webinars for the different regions throughout the US, because again, this is not just a national scholarship, but also international. So we also have annual Scholars Weekend where hundreds of us meet in Virginia. Unfortunately, due to COVID, that's not really a thing right now for this year, but hopefully in the future, it'll be worked back in. And you, of course, have alumni. I'm technically an alum of the transfer scholarship. However, I'm actually currently a graduate scholar, because there is also a graduate scholarship that everyone who gets involved in the foundation is automatically eligible for, but it's only within the foundation. And that also gives you an opportunity to apply for an international award, which I was also a recipient of, and I just finished my degree at Oxford using that. So I had up to $85,000 of funding each year to do my 2-year master's. So now I'm completely done that. So that covers really the program experience overall. Again, you have your educational advisor. This is just very detailed information about what does that include. If you're watching sort of the feed of this, you can definitely pause and you can take a look at here, but I'm going to keep on rolling right now. Again, we have a very active network. I can tell you that once you join, you will know where everyone is and what they're doing, and you can really attend any event that you want with other scholars. So it's very good networking, and people are working in so many different careers that it's just amazing. And even after, right, again, as I mentioned, is the graduate school funding. It is a brilliant resource and something that is life-changing. You do get so many opportunities once you're part of the foundation. Eligibility, very quickly, it is somewhat similar between college scholar and transfer scholar, is that you cannot be previously enrolled in a full-time program at a 4-year institution. So you cannot have credits. That's the one thing to consider. If you've already started a program but didn't finish, make sure to reach out to the foundation and they can help assess your eligibility. You need to be a sophomore status, right? This is for transfer, but you have to be nearing the end of your degree and planning to then graduate that following spring or be a recent graduate. I believe there's a slight cutoff on the number of years that you can go out from graduating. But again, this is all detailed on the website, which is scrolling on the bottom right here. So please make sure to check it out. Now, you do have to, again, be planning to enroll in a 4-year college in the fall of the following year. No exceptions, unfortunately. You cannot start in the spring. So do keep that in mind in terms of planning out the way that you're going to continue on to your 4-year college. What we're looking for, more or less, is 3.5 and above for GPA. So that is the definite cutoff. From there on, the higher GPA, the more competitive you are. But again, the GPA is not the only thing that they're looking at. Also important to note, the number's not mentioned here, but it is very important. This is a financial need scholarship. It is only for students whose family income does not exceed $95,000 a year. Please make sure to double check with your family, right, your parents, or anyone in your household to make sure that you qualify for this. Reach out to the foundation if necessary, but this is very important. It is for students with financial need. So if your family makes too much money and you're above that cutoff, you are unfortunately ineligible. So do keep that in mind. This is just a quick rundown of what does the application call for. It is very quick questions about eligibility, your academics, activities, and so forth. The important thing to note is that it also works with Common App, so do keep that in mind. These are the 4 main criteria for selection, right? So what is your academic achievement? Again, that's tied to your GPA and other awards that you may have received during your time in either high school or in your community college. Your persistence, how have you demonstrated that you are going to continue studying and stick to your plan of finishing your 4-year degree? That is very important, and whether or not you have a plan for later on. What kind of examples of leadership have you shown? Have you, and this is very much tied to the service to others, right? A lot of the work that we do to help others may be tied to leadership roles. So do keep that in mind, that there is a good way of tying it all together. But these are the 4 main pieces. And again, I do want to stress that it is very important that you have a good history in service to others. So if you don't, and you have some time, definitely look and ask, whether it's your community college, ask them if they have any opportunities or different student groups, or if you're in high school, ask around local leaders, faith leaders, right? Go to your local church, synagogue, and just ask, how can I help? And start building up your experience on that end. Again, this is working through Common App. So if you're getting some experience in using it and filling it out, there is a connection between them. If you need additional help, I'm just going to actually leave this slide on for a little bit, but there are for questions on Common App, there is this link here. And then, but more importantly, if you have questions about the scholarship itself, make sure to check the actual website, which is scrolling right now. So thank you for that. Or reach out to the email listed right there. So scholarships@jkcf.org. This is, again, all on the website, right? So it's all there. And just for an idea of how long it would take, 1 to 2 days or 3 days in busiest time, which is around this time when they're reviewing applications. So do keep that in mind. Don't feel discouraged if there's no, right away answer. They will get to you. Everyone's an amazing person who's working there. So I think I will cut it off now. I do have to run off. But any questions, I did provide my email that hopefully can be shared. And yeah, please, if there's anything you need to know about the scholarship and the experience, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you need any help in terms of advice for how to prepare your written pieces for these application, definitely reach out. I'm always happy to advise anyone and give back. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you're in a rush. We're going to stream that right now, Nuno's email. If you have any questions, si están sintonizando y tienen preguntas sobre la experiencia de Nuno con ser becario de Jack and Cook Foundation, o si tienen preguntas generales del Jack and Cook Foundation, lo pueden mandar un solicitud para acá. Thank you so much, Nuno.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. David, you're on mute. That's okay.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Okay.
So now here to talk about her experience having been a recipient of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, I present to you Abby Bonilla.
Hey, everybody.
Oh.
So glad to be here. Thank you, Sylvia and David, for having me. I'm very excited to share about my experience and being a scholarship recipient for HSF. I do have a presentation, so let me pull that up. Okay, great. So my name is Abigail. So a little bit about me. So I'm currently a senior studying sustainable urban environments at the Stanton School of Engineering at NYU. Currently going to graduate in May of 2021. If it weren't for my scholarships, I wouldn't be at the moment I am today. So a couple of things that have helped me has been the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, which is a nonprofit organization for students that are interested in STEM, going from all the way from junior, so as a high school student, through all the way as a professional. And there are scholarships provided through that, which I'll show the link later at the end. Some other organizations I've been a part of on campus. So there's the NYU Construction Management Association. So I'm currently the VP, and this has helped me with like networking with different construction management organizations across New York City. And what we're mainly focusing on for my presentation is HSF. So these are also like internships that I've done throughout my time as an undergrad. So the HSF scholarship. So the HSF is mainly known for their scholarship program. However, they have also other programming and conferences that help students be able to meet with other scholars like them, and also be able to like learn both. They have the program for college, for high school students all the way through college, and like learning throughout their careers, specifically guided towards their what they want to do later on in the future. Currently, their scholarships aim for both. They have their own high school senior scholarship, undergraduate, community college, anybody that's transferring to a four-year college, and even graduate students. So this is something that you're able to apply to every single year. And the awards are awarded from $500 to $5,000. It depends on your need. So they request for your, you probably know like financial aid. So the FAFSA, so how much you're receiving that according to your other awards, and you see how much they're able to provide for you throughout that year. So there's a little on the scholarship deadline. This is the one from for 2020. However, it's going to be very similar for 2021. Currently, it will open up on January 1st, 2020, and it's broken up into two different parts. The first phase is really general questions. It's very like self-explanatory, just explain about yourself, a couple of the extracurricular activities that you do. Later if you get picked for the finalist phase, it'll be more essay portions to kind of just get the feel of who you are. And it's a very it's a scholarship that goes through like every single thing that you're doing, whether you're helping out your family or you're having like a job. There's parts that we're able to incorporate all of that to really get to know who you are as a person. And later on, if you are selected in May, you do have to submit different documents between the summer, and you're later awarded between the October and December months. And some of just the requirements, you do have to be Hispanic. What they consider to be Hispanic is one of your grandparents has to have been born in a country, Latin American country or Spain. So they have a list of that requirement. And if you are a high school student, 3.0 GPA and above. If you are an undergrad and a graduate, 2.5 and above. And then your regular, if you have to attend school, you can either be a U.S. citizen, permanent legal resident, DACA, or eligible for non-citizen. So they don't take, they are very open to considering all those applicants. And then you have to complete your FAFSA beforehand. So something really special about HSF is that once you are selected as an HSF scholar, and you don't necessarily have to win in the sometimes some people get waitlisted for the actual like award scholarship amount, but you are still eligible to be invited to their different conferences that they have throughout that. One of their first conferences that they have as an undergrad is a National Leadership Conference, which I was invited to my summer after my freshman year of college. During this, you're with 100 other scholars throughout the entire nation, and your meet up in Hollywood, California. So as a New Yorker, it was really cool to go to be able to be flown out there, and it's all inclusive pay to spend a 3-day conference there. There, I was able to make such a good amount of friends. My friend here, Wellington, is actually with me in my apartment right now. So yeah, 3 years after a conference, I still like made a really good friend out of that. And we're all very like-minded. We're the fact that we're all like Hispanic. We all have very like similar backgrounds and like what we did during high school, and now like college. College is a lot of the struggle, so you kind of understand each other through that. And we all come over from like different parts of the nation, so it's really cool to interact with those people. And I was also invited to the STEM Summit the following year, this was specialized in people that are majoring in the STEM field. The National Leadership Conference was throughout any single major, and then the STEM Summit was just particular to STEM majors. So really cool to meet other people and their experience in different engineering schools throughout the country. And if you're interested in finance, you can be invited to the finance conference, same with media and entertainment and entrepreneurship. And the locations are usually in California. So really cool to go out there and interact in that area. And they also specialize in different type of programming if you are currently in high school. So they have College 101 and College Camp. College 101 is just a 2-hour program going over specific part of the college application process, kind of similar like the programming tonight, talking about either financial aid or how to write your essay. And then College Camp is more specific. It's like usually an entire day of going over different parts of college and how to apply. And both of those are currently virtual this year. If you look on their website, most of the programming has already been done throughout the fall, but you are able to like subscribe, I think, for like knowing when the next ones are in the hsf.net, which I'll show at the end. And what's most special about if you are currently a junior, I think, they're going to open up Youth Leadership Institute. If you look on hsf.net, I'm not sure exactly when the deadline is for that, but you are able to apply to be invited to a current like university, and you're able to like interact with other students throughout other high school junior students to learn about the college application process and learning what college is like. And so I had the opportunity of being a mentor for five students that were applying to college, and many of them went to like Ivy Leagues or other universities throughout the country. So just like you were able to get a mentor to like look over your essays and kind of learn about like what college admission students are, what college admissions is looking for in a student, and also just generally like how to survive senior year, since there's just so many deadlines and so much going on. So it's awesome to have a mentor to help you from your junior all the way through your senior year. And so if you have any questions regarding that, here is my email, hsf.net. And then for SHEP, there's also the scholarship regarding that, which opens up also later in the spring. And I also forgot to mention, HSF also offers career services once you're accepted as a scholar. So there's also the benefit of that. Yeah.
Abby for joining us and speaking about HSF and her own experiences. Definitely HSF, like we've talked about before in this session, is a great organization that provides opportunities that continue to help you, whether it's throughout your college career or even at post-college. I'd like to ask you a question regarding if students weren't selected for a year, how would you give them feedback to apply for next year? Are they eligible to apply for next year?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat the question?
The question is, if students apply 1 year and they aren't selected, what would you give them as feedback to apply for next year if they're eligible to apply for next year?
Oh, you're always eligible to apply. Never like get let down by your first try, because HSF is a very highly selective like scholarship. There's always ways to improve your current scholarship. Always make sure to have somebody look over your scholarship, like essays and such. So make sure that you're getting that done. And something that people just always look for is making sure that you're well-rounded and you're doing the most you can. So like make sure that you're putting all of those like all of the things you do, whether that be work, internships, and your extracurricular activities, so they get a sense to feel that of who you are.
Okay, thank you so much. I know that some of the people in the Facebook comments are like, they're happy to know that they have this information, that they're going to be applying for these scholarships pretty soon. And the application, like you said, it's coming up. It's coming up in January.
Yes, so they definitely apply. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I can also try to connect you with different HSF staff members if you have any specific questions.
Entonces, para los que están sintonizando, Albonía está representando HSF, que es el Fondo de Becarios Hispanos, y también tienen una aplicación, periodo de aplicaciones para las becas que abren en enero. Y si tienen preguntas, pueden acceder al sitio web www.hsf.net También lo que están sintonizando en los comentarios, si tienen preguntas, pueden acceder a los comentarios y preguntar en lo que sea. Y gracias, Abby. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Abby. Okay, everyone. Well, don't worry. We're almost coming down to the Q&A session. So for our next one, I would love to introduce a great friend of mine, a good partner in this organization. She does so much and she's awesome at it. She's a recipient of the HACU and also the Hispanic Scholarship Fund scholarship, and also Air Force ROTC. Give it up for our own Director of Outreach and Fundraising, Silvia Jaramillo Regalado.
Thank you, David. I'm going to be very short because those who are watching, you can always contact me anyways for any of the experiences that I have and any of my information. Pero los que están sintonizando, mi nombre es Silvia Jaramillo Regalado. Soy directora de reclutamiento de Juventud Ecuatoriana. También soy una ex becaria de HACU's Leader in Residence Scholarship. También soy parte del Detachment 490 del Instituto de Tecnología en New Jersey. Y soy un cadete de la Fuerza Aérea. Estoy en ese programa que también ofrece unas becas para estudiantes que están en el college y también que están como high school seniors en cualquier lugar, pero quieren acceder a la escuela universitaria. Yo voy a compartir mi pantalla para mostrar una oportunidad que viene del HACU. HACU significa Hispanic Association Colleges and Universities. Hispanic Association Colleges and Universities representa muchas de las instituciones que sirven a las comunidades hispanas. Rutgers, por ejemplo, es un HSI, una de sus instituciones. También lo demás de las instituciones del Estado, como los CUNYs, SUNYs, St. Peter's University. Los que están escuchando ya en las escuelas que estaban en el panel de admissions, muchos de ellos representan los HSIs y son parte de una organización que comparte muchos programas, muchas oportunidades, a veces también muchas becas, y voy a compartir ahorita mi pantalla para ver cuáles becas están de esa organización. Déjame ver acá. Ok. Bueno. Aquí está el sitio web de HACU. Puedes acceder al hacu.net para ver cuáles son las oportunidades acá. Voy a acceder a scholarships para mostrar un poco de lo que tienen. Ahorita mucho del periodo de aplicaciones para las becas de HACU están cerrados porque más o menos en el otoño no tienen becas, solo tienen una beca que también está abierta hasta el 20 de noviembre. Pero la mayoría de las becas que ofrecen HACU, dependiendo de las cantidades, puede ser 2,000, 2,500, 5,000. Esas becas son de muchos sponsors y siempre tienen las aplicaciones abiertas en la primavera. Por ejemplo, puedes ver que Dennis recién tenía su beca abierta para estudiantes que están en un community college o en una universidad de 4 años. Y muchos de los requisitos para el GPA, para sus notas, debe ser de 2.5 o más. Los sponsors incluyen Denny's, Coors Miller Lite, Kia Motors, el Café Bustelo, que también específicamente es un beca que está un poco más abierta para los estudiantes que no tienen ciudadanía o residencia. Y los demás hay más requisitos. Por ejemplo, Kia Motors ofrece becas para estudiantes que están en la área de ciencias, tecnología, ingeniería y matemáticas. Lo que voy a compartir ahorita también es otra beca que HACU ofrece. Y el HACU ofrece una beca que se llama Lánzate. Es una beca auspiciada de Southwest Airlines y es para estudiantes que están queriendo ir a una universidad más de 200 millas de su casa. Por ejemplo, estudiantes que están considerando ir a estudiar o seguir sus estudios en la universidad en estados como California, pero viven en Nueva Jersey, pueden acceder a la aplicación esta. Siempre la aplicación está abierta como por la primavera, y en el año pasado o en este año tenían un fecha límite de mayo 14. Así que muchos estudiantes que yo conozco también han ganado este beca. Como han explicado antes, como Adriana explicó antes, es algo como decir, cuando aplicas para becas, muchas de las becas requieren lo mismo. Eran los pillars del resumen, el ensayo, el transcripts, o por ejemplo, las notas, y si estás bien en las notas, y cómo es tu historia. Si estás involucrado en trabajo o en servicio comunitario y lo demás. Esto es una otra beca que es un poco más específico a Haku. No hay, de lo que yo sé, no hay más becas específicamente para ayudar a estudiantes que están estudiando fuera de 200 millas, fuera de su hogar, y los pueden dar o cubrir los gastos para boletos hasta la casa. Lo que yo hice, y lo voy a poner acá, lo que yo hice es el Haku Leader in Residence. Si no está aquí, cerca, que está abierta ahorita. Es un poco diferente, es para una conferencia, y tal vez puede ser que próxima conferencia sería diferente, pero es una beca para ir a una conferencia y acceder a oportunidades en esa conferencia para pasantías, full-time roles si son seniors y quieren ir o quieren ya aplicar para oportunidades después de que gradúan. Y es una de las oportunidades más grandes que yo he podido ganar en mi tiempo como estudiante en la universidad. Como Abby dijo antes, la comunidad de personas que están alrededor de usted queriendo seguir las mismas metas, pero también las personas mentors profesionales que ya están como en su ruta, en su carrera, que te pueden guiar y tal vez ofrecer una oportunidad para un pasantía o un trabajo. Y el deadline para aplicar es el 25 de junio del próximo año. Ahorita está abierto, así que como Adrián también dijo antes, muchas becas no tienen tantos aplicantes, así que si quieres aplicar y estás en los requisitos de la elegibilidad, puedes aplicar. Lo que también quiero compartir es lo que es ROTC. ROTC significa Reserve Officer Training Corps. Significa que cuando estás estudiando como estudiante en NJIT, Rutgers, St. Peter's University, también puedes acceder a ser un cadete de la Fuerza Aérea, cualquier tipo de servicio de branch, por ejemplo, Navy, Army, Marines o Air Force. Y puedes conseguir su licenciatura al mismo tiempo que seas cadete en las reservas, como estás siguiendo su licenciatura. Y cuando gradúas y ya es mayo, por ejemplo, puedes tener su licenciatura, tu diploma y al mismo tiempo el rango de subteniente. Después de eso, después de graduación, ya estás en la vida militar. Tal vez puedes ser reserva o active duty, y seas un oficial y puedes tener tu trabajo. Tal vez en el caso de muchas personas que están en la Fuerza Aérea quieren ser pilotos, pero también pueden estar interesados en ciberseguridad o otros tipos de carreras que son más específicamente a aviación. En el mismo sentido, si quieres ir al Army, pero también todavía quieres estar en la escuela, en Rutgers, por ejemplo, puedes acceder al programa de ROTC allá. Puedes entrar como estudiante en la universidad mientras ya estás estudiando, como si es, por ejemplo, este es su primer semestre, puedes entrar en el ROTC, y cuando ya estás en el programa y todavía estás en Rutgers, por ejemplo, puedes aplicar para un beca que te cubre los gastos que te falta para recibir su licenciatura. También hay otra oportunidad del high school students que si eres en tu último año, si estás en tu último año en la secundaria, puedes aplicar para el High School Scholarship que tiene una fecha límite del 14 de enero del próximo año, en donde te pueden cubrir todos los gastos de la universidad. También hay algunos tipos de niveles de la oportunidad del RTC, las becas de RTC, que son Type 1, cubren todos los gastos. Type 2, cubren hasta 18,000 de los gastos o 9,000 cada semestre. Type 7, que es los gastos universitarios que son del Estado, si estás yendo de una escuela del Estado, pero si estás yendo de una escuela del privado, todavía cubren lo que es el gasto o el costo de una escuela del Estado. So, no tanto, pero lo que pueden. Y así son las oportunidades que querían compartir. Ahora, como dijo David, yo también recién tenía la noticia que me seleccionaron para una beca del Hispanic Scholarship Fund, que también, como dijo Abby, es un poco más difícil de obtener. Y con eso hay muchísimos recursos, muchísimas oportunidades, y estás en un centro de apoyo para tu carrera profesional, académico. Ahí también que quiero compartir otra vez un otro slide para culminar toda esta sesión. Todas las becas que hemos hablado antes y cómo son las fechas límites y los periodos de aplicación y cómo puede acceder a las aplicaciones de esas becas. Lo voy a compartir ahorita. Ya. Déjame ver si me pueden ver mi... So, aquí está un slide de las becas que hemos hablado antes. Para culminar toda esta sesión, gracias por todos los que están sintonizando. Igual este webinar, taller, va a estar listo en nuestra página web, en el Facebook y también en el YouTube. So, si quieren revisar otra vez en un otro momento lo que hemos hablado, pueden acceder a nuestra Facebook page. Pero aquí están las oportunidades. Hispanic Scholarship Fund tiene su periodo de aplicación para estudiantes que están en la secundaria queriendo aplicar a la universidad y que ya están en la universidad para el 1 de enero hasta el 15 de febrero. Es un periodo de aplicación muy corto, pero si puedes acceder todo de que es resume, essays, transcripts, and letters of recommendation, please do so. Jack and Cook Foundation, el Nuno Pereira habló del Jack and Cook Foundation, que es una beca. Ahorita tienen la aplicación abierta para estudiantes que están en community college, están en un college de 2 años ahorita y quieren transferir, ya cuando gradúan con sus asociados, transferir a una escuela de 4 años. Ese tiene una fecha límite del 6 de enero y puedes acceder al sitio web que es www.jkcf.org. Haku Leader in Residence Program, esos que mencioné antes, es una conferencia, puedes aplicar y te pueden cubrir todos los gastos para ir a la conferencia y además la oportunidad de estar como un scholar, como un becario del Haku, que es el Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. La fecha límite para esa aplicación es el 25 de junio. Ahorita también tenemos, no estaban con nosotros en este taller, pero son compañeros de nosotros, que es Ascend Educational Fund. Están ubicados mayormente en Nueva York, pero tienen la aplicación abierta para personas que no residen en Nueva York. y es una beca que da dinero para estudiantes que son ciudadanos, residentes, DACA o están aplicando por la primera vez a DACA. El fecha límite de eso es el 5 de febrero y puedes hacer la beca por el sitio web ascendfundnewyork.org. La beca para Air Force RTC, para ser cadete en la Fuerza Aérea, y también ahorita tengo el sitio web del Air Force RTC, pero puedes aplicar para el mismo programa ROTC en otro tipo de servicio, que sería el Army, Navy, Marines, y tienen su propio sitio web. Debe ser lo mismo, como en la fecha límite, lo mismo, el 14 de enero o en los principios del próximo año. Y también tenemos USHLI, que estaba con nosotros el Adrián Calderón, que es Community Outreach Manager. El sitio web para acceder a la aplicación de USHLI es ushli.org. Y ahorita no tienen las aplicaciones abiertas para las becas, pero tendrán lo abierta en el próximo año, en marzo hasta noviembre.
And muchas gracias, Silvia. Eso será un gran ayuda para todos. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for all of that. That's going to be a great help for a lot of people. And also, thank you very much to you and the rest of the team at Juventud Ecuatoriana for helping put this together.
Very happy to do so.
Yeah. So, a few words before I close. So what you just saw is a lot throughout this past week, also yesterday and Tuesday. You basically have all the information you need to be able to further your education. And honestly, this is just the beginning. If we were to get everybody that we know down here tonight, this would be an all-night virtual event. And of course, I'm sure nobody wants that. However, what you should want is basically to further your own life and further your own education. There is no reason that you should let your situation, your circumstances, or your conditions, whether it be financial or emotional, spiritual, or any other adversity, get in the way of your goals and your dreams. I think, not to quote a celebrity that said this, but protect your dreams, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I bid you good night, and I also stay tuned for our virtual gala. We will be posting that up soon. And yes, again, follow us on Facebook, Organización Juventud Ecuatoriana, and Instagram, @Juventud Ecuatoriana. So,
David, could you just stream my email first, because I know we have a comment regarding that. It's in the private chat.
Yes.
Just stream that really quick. For anybody who's listening, thank you so much. It's been a night, but definitely we're here to give any information possible. Like David has said, it is a little bit difficult. We have so many people who are connected to us regarding scholarships and other opportunities that we wish we could tell you all about it. And so having our contact information, taking it down, you can always look at our Facebook Live on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube. Pause it. Some of the panelists have said, just pause it, take down the information, and connect with the people that you got the information about. You've heard already from his Hudson County Community College, Rutgers, NJIT, the Jack and Cook Foundation, the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute, Hispanic Scholarship Fund, Air Force RTC, and Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. So there's a lot of resources there. We've already sent you a little bit of the information regarding Ascend Educational Fund as well. And for those who are still asking questions, you can always email us, look at the panelists, email them, and definitely stay tuned. We are going to have a lot of opportunities available. And for anybody who's also still willing to volunteer with us, we are open to having that as well. We are always looking for high school students, college students, and anybody else who's interested to volunteer and just be a part of Juventud Ecuatoriana.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. So this video will still be up, and also you could still comment on it even after the broadcast had ended. So with that, everyone, I bid you all a good night. Tenga buenas noches. You're muted, Sylvia. Tenga buenas noches.
Yes. Have a great night, everyone. Buenas noches.
Cheers.